Welcome to this week's energy update. We are Corey, Peyton, and myself, Yaila, and we approach the energy update from three different perspectives. Corey does our astrology report, Peyton channels messages by the High Council of the Pleiadians, and I do the collective reading for you tuning in. So Peyton, let's start with you. What do the Pleiadians have in store for March 2023?
Thanks, Yaila. Hey, y'all. I'm Peyton. And as Yaila mentioned, I channel the Pleiadians. So when I checked in with the Pleiadians to see what the coming weeks have in store for us, the first thing they had to say is that March is going to be a month of great change. They said it is going to be a time of great excitement. And so one of the first things they wanted us to know about the energies in March is they said that they wanted the humans collective to know that a lot of the darkness that has been very ingrained in our planet for a long time has now gone. It is not on the planet anymore. And so they said that if we are interested in confirming this, just feel into the energy of your planet. So they wanted us to know that many of what we have talked so much about in the spiritual community over the past however many years, darker energies, energies of control, all those fun things that we talk about all the time, most of those energies are now gone. And they said, if you tap into the energy of our planet, into Earth, we will be able to feel that. And so there is definitely an energy that is much lighter than it has been for a long time. And they wanted us to understand why that was. Now, the second thing they had for us in March is they said we are going to start seeing the matrix breaking down in very obvious ways. They said the veil between worlds is very, very thin right now. So in March, they said what we can expect is to easily see through the matrix. They said it's going to be very easy for all of you who are doing your inner work, who are part of the awakened community, to see through the hologram. So the way that this is going to show up, they said, is they encouraged us to look at anything we are seeing in the outside world, anything that we are being told by our information platforms, by our systems of authority. They encouraged us to look at that through the eyes of our intuition, because they said an interesting thing is going to happen in March. We are going to be able to see very easily what is true, what is false, and what is complete charade, what is hologram, what is AI. They said you are going to be surprised in March how easy it is for you to tell the difference. So what they are encouraging us to do in March is not believe anything we hear from the outside world until we run it through our intuition. They said March is a month to live in your intuition, because you are going to see very easily through anything that is false, that is based in deception. So as you start to look at this, it starts to get really funny. You start to see things that you were kind of oblivious to before. And one way I am noticing this is as I go through social media. I am just scrolling through social media and I am just instantly getting hits that, yes, this is true. No, this is false. This is completely AI. It's not even real. I'm actually getting instantaneous downloads. And they said this is available to everyone. So practice this, look at the world around you, any information sources that you're tuning into, and look at it through the eyes of your intuition instead of your senses. They said March is going to start to get really entertaining. So that's something kind of fun that is coming up for us in March. Now, along with this, along with the energy changes that we are going to see, one of the side effects, they said, in March, we may experience issues with our memories. So you may notice that you are having trouble remembering the simplest things. And what they said is happening there is we are not in the same world that we were in even a few weeks ago, even a few months ago. We have made such a huge timeline jump recently that we're having trouble accessing memories from the old timeline. And y'all, I am totally seeing this. My husband and I, we will be talking and we will both be forgetting things that literally just happened. So they wanted us to know, if this happens to you, don't be alarmed. You're not losing your mind. This is a symptom of the energy shift we have gone through. So if you notice issues with your memory in March, they wanted to let us know kind of what the cause is behind that. And it is because we are literally in a new world, is what they said. Now, a few other things that are going to go along with the March energies is they did want us to know that those people who are not doing their work, those people who are still very attached to the matrix, they said they are going to continue to have a very challenging time. Or what the Pleiadians said is they are going to continue to panic a little bit in these energies. So what they said is, if you are part of the awakened community, if you are doing your work, you are not going to be bothered by this. It's not really going to affect you because you're going to see through it. So you're not going to get into fear over stories that aren't true, but other people are going to. So they wanted us to know in March that it'll be very natural for some of our less awakened friends and family and people in the world may be tempted to cling to light workers and starseeds. So you may notice that your friends who are maybe not so much into doing their inner work are starting to get very clingy. And again, this is because they are going to be drawn to your energy. So what the guides had to say about that is they said March is all about boundaries. So this is a time where we don't want to let other people drain our energy. That's going to be very important in March. So March is going to be all about listening to our intuition and listening to our bodies. And the other thing they wanted us to know we can expect in March, they said that lightworkers and starseeds are going to start to experience a huge upswing in their confidence. So if you are someone who has always felt a little separated, a little isolated, and so many of us on our spiritual journey have felt like that for really a long time, they said expect to start feeling incredibly confident in your path, in your purpose, and in what you are here to do. They said, as light workers and starseeds, you are leading your collective. Even though it doesn't feel like it, you are absolutely leaders. And you're going to start to, in March, embrace that role rather than hide from it. So if you are someone who has struggled with fitting in, they said March, you can expect to see you're feeling much more confident in who you are, much more willing to stand in your truth and just let other people have their own experience with that. So confidence is going to be increasing in March. And the other thing that they wanted us to know for March, because the theme, of course, is look at everything through the eyes of your intuition. Don't blindly believe anything you are told these days, because much of it is not even true. What they said, and I loved this little quote, they said, your imagination is more powerful than the matrix. And they said, your imagination is your reality. So that's what they had for us in March, a little bit of encouragement, which I always like to hear. So Corey, what were you noticing about the astrology for March?
Thank you, Peyton. So I love that, the imagination. So here is the astrology for March 2023. So if I were to put a theme to it, it would be transformation. If you ever watch SpongeBob, if you have kids, he used to go imagination. Well, March is transformation. It's big energy. We have so much going on for March. So I'm only going to be covering some of it because it's so much. And I'll put some more videos on my channel on Claire Core, because I'll need to do that. It's so big. So as I always say, the first part of the month, we are going to be in Pisces season. Pisces is so dreamy. It rules the dreams. And then the second half of March will be in Aries. So that is about the self. Aries is fire. Pisces is water. So it's going to be very, the first part of the month is going to be, if you're be very dreamy. So if you're having a lot of dream, a lot of my clients have been coming to me going, oh my gosh, I'm just having these unbelievable, vivid dreams. Welcome to Pisces season. We love it. We absolutely love it. So we have two very big events, main events happening in March. So we have Saturn, which is the ruler of structures and boundaries and time, 3D time, hard work, lessons, karma, is moving into the sign of Pisces. Dreams, very unstructured, water, illusion, film industry, media, pharmaceuticals, addiction, the mystic, spirituality. All right. So they're really two opposites. That is happening on the 7th of March. On top of that, we will have a full moon. Again, that another full moon at 16 degrees of Virgo. Now, Saturn's changes signs every 3 years. However, we do in our charts have what's called the Saturn return. And that happens every 28, 30 years for us personally. We've been in Saturn in Aquarius. So Saturn, karma, lessons, hard work, the timekeeper, the restrictions. It's been in Aquarius. And March of 2020, we went into lockdown. So there's always a higher vibration and a lower vibration of any zodiac signs and or planets. So when we had Saturn in Aquarius, Aquarius rules the people, freedom, human rights. We went into lockdown. So when Saturn moves into Pisces, it will be the end of that cycle. And it will be in Pisces till 2026. So what is Saturn in Pisces? What's that energy? I'm going to be very brief with this, and I'll get into more details with some other videos. But, Saturn, the restrictor, lessons, karma, hardworking, kick your butt to learn the lessons. If it's integrity, it rules integrity. Being in Pisces, it is unstructured, spirituality, like I said, pharmaceuticals, addiction, film industry, illusions, disillusion. So Saturn in Pisces is going to really be about, and Pisces is also a water sign. It's a mutable water. So it's always changing water. And so it'll be interesting to see what taking a look at, because Saturn is structures, the structure of our water, the quality of our water. Because if it's not in integrity, Saturn will reveal it. So it'll be interesting to see over these next 3 years, Saturn, reveals what isn't in integrity. So the quality of our water. Also, like the reality that we thought that we were living in, finding out that it's not our reality, because Pisces can be that illusion, how the media portrays it, how movies portray our reality. So it'll be interesting how Saturn will, while in Pisces, will see and reveal how our reality may not have been real at all. It'll be interesting to see. Also, science is very structured. Saturn. Pisces is spirituality. So over the next 3 years, we'll probably see, and we're already seeing this, science and spirituality really coming together and forming a new structure. So Pisces also rules disillusion. So there's going to be a lot of endings of old structures. We're moving into the the Aquarian age. And when an outer planet, which is very strong, changes signs, we all feel it very strongly. So that is happening on the 7th of March, on top of a full moon in Virgo. So what about that full moon in Virgo? Because it's coupled with the Pisces, that Saturn going into Pisces, and it's at that 16th degree. We've had 5 planets or 5 full moons, all at 16 degrees. So Virgo rules service work, alternative health. So really releasing, because full moons are about releasing, really releasing anything that stands in the way of you and your spiritual practice. We are moving into such a heightened spiritual energy. And this Saturn in Pisces, and we had in February, we had the new moon, new supermoon in Pisces. That's the start of a heightened, the frequency of the planet, all the solar flares, raising the vibration of the earth. And so this full moon gives us the opportunity to release the things that are distracting us, or that, no longer serve us for our spiritual practice. Because Virgo's an earth sign, so that's practicality. And alternative healing modalities, frequencies, light therapy. We're starting to see a lot more of that. So even though it's a time to really just release what no longer serves us, because of that Saturn in Pisces, it also gives us an opportunity to also big manifesting. We are going into a highly heightened spiritual way of life. And so that Virgo organizes, practical, get rid of clutter at this full moon. That is coupled with that Saturn. It's going to be very strong, but wonderful. It can be wonderful. Unless, of course, you could be at the lower vibrations of Pisces, and that is addiction, alcoholism, escapism. So we all have a choice in this life. And, the world is ramping up. So try to choose the higher vibration. Then the other big event is on the 23rd of March, Pluto, which is the ruler, it rules the underground, hidden secrets, power, greed, money, transformation, life, death, rebirth, okay, is moving into the sign of Aquarius. And that's a 20-year cycle. So we've been in Pluto in Capricorn since 2008. So Capricorn is top-down structures. Any hidden secrets, forcing you to let go or take a look at the things that no longer serve you or society, because this Pluto is for the collective. In Capricorn, that's why we've been seeing financial institutions, schools, government, all the secrets, corruption, because Pluto rules corruption, has been brought to light. So now it's going to move into Aquarius on the 23rd. Yes. So what can we expect? Just a brief saying of what Pluto and Aquarius. So Aquarius is it's an air sign, so thoughts. We can transform, because Pluto transform our thinking and the way that we think. Maybe the way that we think about freedom, because Aquarius rules freedom. Maybe the way that we think about technology, because Aquarius rules technology. And the humanitarian. Aquarius is the humanitarian, but also very individualized. The Aquarian can be detached, can look at things from a more detached state of being. So because of the hidden secrets and technology, we might see that the technology that is, okay, we could say corrupt, or not in an integrity, not best for the collective, for the human beings at large, so to speak. It'll be interesting to see how, because we have AI coming online. Well, it started already. So it'll be very interesting what hidden secrets Pluto's, for me, I always think of Pluto as hidden secrets. They're always revealed. So it'll be interesting to see what are the hidden secrets in technology. Also in our personal freedom. You know, the freedom, just like Saturn was in Aquarius, we all lost our freedom, so to speak, you know, by being locked down. And now that that's over, Pluto going into Aquarius. Now it's Pluto's turn. It'll be interesting to see what is revealed, what hidden secrets, or what can we transform regarding freedom, technology. Also, Aquarius rules ETs, aliens, the cosmos. So, you know, if there are a false alien invasion, Pluto in Aquarius, we'll know about it. Of course, I loved how the Pleiadians said, follow your intuition. This is a transformative time. And yes, high levels of discernment. We are in big changes. And as I'm sure you've heard me say in several of the videos that we have, is my guides told me that there will come a time where we will not be able to trust what we see or hear or what we're told, but it is your intuition that is going to help you get through the coming times, which we are in now. Hence why all three of us are here. So we're also going to have, then we have the new moon in Aries, and that's at 0 degrees. Aries is the self. So we're going to feel very fire, going to feel very empowered. And that happens just before Pluto goes into Aquarius. We also have the spring equinox on March 20th. And here in the United States, we have daylight savings. So one of the warnings that I want to make, daylight savings, if there's anybody who has, if they're struggling emotionally, daylight savings will trigger it. If you're a really sensitive person, daylight savings often will trigger, acting out, feeling more emotional, along with Pluto and Saturn, the full moon and the new moon. But these are amazing times of transformation. And so I invite you to choose love over fear. We're going to see a lot going on in the world. And as the Pleiades said, tap into your intuition, because that's how you will know. Is it true or is it not true? Is it of love or is it of fear? So moving into the Aquarian age is very exciting. We're actually in it. We have at least 1 foot in it. So that's the astrology for now, for March of 2023. And hang on to your hats. Go with the flow. And it's a time of spiritual integrity, because Pisces, Saturn in Pisces is about spiritual integrity. So one last note, we'll probably see, spiritual masters, gurus. We have a great video on that. Spiritual leaders, green lights, red lights, the gurus. That what isn't of integrity is going to start to be revealed, Saturn and Pisces. But it's important to have your own spiritual practice, get your own answers, and also be in spiritual integrity and find a practice. It's highly supported in March. So, Yaila, what have you got?
Thank you so much, ladies. Really appreciate both of your messages. And if you've ever seen our videos before, I just tap into the collective energy. So let me just get set up really fast for that. And I always like to ask for a blessing for anybody watching this video to hear and receive the information that is most helpful for their highest and best good and any healing that they are requiring. And just being asked to be guided for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so when I'm first putting up, just looking at the collective energy, I'm getting like a really beautiful sky blue. And they were kind of showing me almost like a sphere of the blue color, just like really shining all around. So let me just kind of ask and see what that is representing for the collective. The words that they're saying with that is finding your voice and speaking your truth. And, it's cool because I was listening to Corey and Peyton sharing just as far as you'll understand just kind of what your intuition is telling you. And I'm also just hearing speaking your truth, sharing your voice as far as what really works for you and what doesn't. This energy has kind of been around for the last several months. I know that term has come through in different ways, shapes, and forms in some of the other previous monthly videos, but for March, it really sounds like sharing your truth, sharing your voice, and that's who you can trust as far as how it's received from the world around you. So as you share your truth, as you share your voice, you have an insight as far as what is the right alignment for you. Not to say, other people are wrong and you're right, but you'll just understand those people, situations, and places that are really supportive and alignment for you. So you're going to have more comfortable energy sharing your voice, sharing your truth. And it feels like this is kind of a newer energy for a lot of people, because in the past, many people have felt limited as far as what they can say, what they can share, for worry about some type of backlash or some type of being reprimanded in some way, shape, or form. And when you're speaking from your heart and you're sharing your voice, you're sharing your truth, there's going to be less reprimandation for that, is what they're saying, and more of alignment. So we're going to be feeling less judged for what we have to say. So that's some of the energy I'm seeing for March of 2023. Let me just kind of ask, what is helpful for the collective to know? Or what does the collective need to know? Similar lines, I'm hearing following your truth and knowing your truth. And so it really is that journey inward at this time. Some of you kind of felt that through February, where you were really focused in on, I think they called it your glow up, really aligning to what does your body need? What does your mind need? What does your soul need? What do your relationships need? What do you just on an individual person need? And now that we're coming into March, you have an understanding of that. And some of that sharing your voice, sharing your truth is really speaking into what is supportive for you, because I'm hearing we are creating new structures and situations that are more conducive and more in alignment to what really supports us. And we're seeing that in our workplace, we're seeing that in our relationships, we're seeing that in how we're getting education. So really going inward for yourself and recognizing what's in alignment for you. What is your truth? What's coming to my mind right now for the past, for some people, maybe they had this journey that for them to work out, they have to go and push really, really hard and really go past their limits. And maybe that worked for a little time. And now they're realizing now that just doesn't work for their body, and something a little more gentle is what their body is craving. And as they give that to their body, they just start to feel really good. And the results they worked so hard for years before just kind of happen a little bit more flow. So not to say you won't be putting an effort into anything, but you'll see it's almost like working smarter versus harder. And I gave the workout example as just one, but this is going to be showing up in many areas. So in your relationships, in your time for yourself, in what you're using or what you're choosing to feed your mind with, how you're spending your time at work, what are ways that you can work smarter versus harder? So you're really going to be tapping inward on that and sharing your truth about that, first and foremost to yourself. It's not so much of following what quote unquote you're supposed to be doing, but what is really in alignment. I find that word is a really great question to ask, like what's in alignment for me, for the situation, for this job, like whatever the noun you want to use in that, just ask what's in alignment and you will be shown the answer. However you get the information, you'll get it, whether it's a thought in your mind or a feeling, or maybe the answer is going to come to your awareness through maybe another person or something that you read and you'll be like, that's the answer. So just be aware of your truths coming to the surface even more so than it has in the past. And you're going to feel more comfortable owning it, which is very exciting. So let me just see if there's anything to watch out for the month of March 2023 for the collective. So they're giving me the term, the slow fade. So let me just ask what the slow fade means, because that seems very, very vague. What they're kind of showing me is the slow fade of these things that are not in alignment crumbling away. And that's going to show up in all those categories that we just talked about, in your relationships, within yourself, how you move your body, how you feed your body, the time that you're spending at work and the things that you're doing. So you're going to see a slow fade of the things that are not in alignment and are not working. So to watch out for that, not to be worried about it. And it could be relationships changing. It could be, your job changing. There's going to be a slow fade of where you're going to realize this is not in alignment. This is not where I want to be headed anymore. This is not what's working. Or you're going to realize, other things need to fade out so you can focus more energy in other directions, whether that's with your family, whether that's with something else. So you're going to see things slowly fade away as far as what is important. If you had a hierarchy of things that are important in your life, in your daily life, you're going to see the slow fade of all those things that no longer are important for you. And you're going to see that in a lot of categories. So I gave some very general ones, but you might see that in smaller ones, whether it's, I used to buy all these things, or I used to have all these subscriptions, and now it's almost like a decluttering. It's a slow fade out of all of those things are just no longer in alignment. So just know you don't have to do the stage 5 clinger, holding on really, really tightly to what was familiar and what you were comfortable with. Learning to get uncomfortable and learning to let go of maybe you did it because that's what you've always done. There's going to be a slow fade of those things if it's not meant for you in the future. So watch out for that. Be mindful of that and just know that you do have a choice in those things, and you'll feel it. You'll know it, what needs to stay and what needs to go. So letting those things go. Let me just ask if there's any last messages for the collective for March 2023. The word they're giving me is fulfillment. And they were showing me the heart chakra and just really feeling like an overabundance of gratitude when I was actually setting my energy up for this video. The word that came through really strongly was gratitude. And so we're going to feel this fulfillment within our heart chakra, if we are aligned to, if we're letting ourselves align to these things as far as sharing our voice, knowing our truth, speaking our truth, not hiding ourselves back, letting those things fade away that aren't working, we're going to actually feel that fulfillment of those things. We're going to have an actual palpable confirmation that this is the right choice. And it's going to give you more encouragement on an energetic space to keep going down these paths, even if some of those goodbyes and those fadeaways might be challenging, might be tough, or might even just be sad. So just know you're going to still feel fulfillment as you are aligning stronger and stronger. And what they're also saying is wishes being fulfilled as well. So I can't remember if it was Corey or Peyton just kind of said, letting your imagination really lead the show. And I think this has been shared in other videos that we've made, but what does your heart want? Where is letting your imagination lead the way, and get excited that your heart can receive the fulfillment and its wishes. And it's really up to us to align to what feels right, what feels good. So just know you have the power to make these choices, and you're a sovereign being, and you got this. So ladies, any last things you want to add as far as the March 23 energy report? No? Okay. Well, we appreciate you all so much for tuning into not just the energy update, but any other videos. Feel free to check out all of the links below for all of our information. And we, of course, appreciate any feedback. We love comments, likes, shares. It definitely helps us get these messages out to people that could also find it helpful. So we will see you next time in our next video, and see you later. Bye.